Well, as you may have noticed, this is not when I normally post Riding with James. I decided to change things up a little and do these on the last Monday of the month instead of the first. I did announce that, but only on the Facebook page, since it was kind of a last-minute decision. By the way, if you want to follow the Facebook page, the link is in the description. I post pictures and such there. Okay, apparently one of the neighbors decided to start doing something. You may hear something in the background. And maybe the occasional barking dog. There's various reasons I wanted to make this change. But the reason I changed it when I did was because of the Riding with James I had ready to go. Now, I did have one edited and complete and ready for upload, but as I said a while back, I want to try and keep these light and friendly, and if they're not funny or entertaining, I at least want to make them informative. And the one I was going to post had to do with this guy I knew when I was working in the telemarketing office years ago. It was kind of half lighthearted, but I didn't really realize until I came to the end of that story that there was no way around it venturing into some dark territory. And I just decided, you know what, I don't want to put that up right now. Maybe I'll go ahead and upload it later, but for now I'm just going to leave it in my pocket. Instead, I wanted to tell the story of a quarter. And yes, I'm talking about a 25-cent coin. This is a pretty short story, and there is no way to tell it without you most likely figuring out the ending before I get there, but it's still a funny story. In 1980, I was 12 years old, and my cousin was 10. Growing up in the small towns, especially at that time, we were entertained by silly things. And, well, I guess pretty much every kid at that age is entertained by silly things, but my cousin got his hands on a little metal engraver. And it's one of those that was kind of like a big pen, you know. And he took the first brand new 1980 quarter he got that year, and he carved his initials into it with the number 80 underneath. So it said RT80. It's on the face of the quarter. He was carrying it around, showing people, because, you know, I guess it wasn't everybody that could carve whatever they wanted to into a quarter. Anyway, he's carrying this quarter around, and one day he messed around and accidentally spent it in a Coke machine. Now, that was back when they still had the glass bottles, you know. I'm pretty sure we still had glass bottles, and you could, you know, get them out of the machine for 25 cents. And you know, he realized it right after he did it, but it was too late. It was already in there, and he said, oh well. Back then they didn't have the, you know, where you could cancel the thing, or once you put a coin in, that was it. I was like, oh well, it's not like it was really worth anything. You know, it was just something that he was carrying around for fun, so he just went on. 12 years later, 1992, I'm in a little town about 12 miles east of us that's even smaller than this one. I'm visiting some friends over there. I stopped at their convenience store and bought something. I had a little wooden box I kept in the console to put change in. And I got out of the store, I threw the change in there. And I was over there most of the day and just messing around, and before I left out, I stopped at a Coke machine. That was late enough, the street lights were coming on, and I parked right under one where the light was coming in through the windshield and just happened to fall right on that little box of change. And it had a little sliding top on it. And when I slid the top back to get some change, shining in the glow of that street light was a quarter with RT80 carved into it. Almost like it was looking up saying, hey, here I am. I picked it up and looked at it, and it's not like that quarter was a big moment in my life. You know, It seemed like I vaguely remembered something about him having a metal engraver. So I set it aside. I saw him the next day at one of the local movie rental places. And I walked in and he was just happened to be standing right there by the counter. I set that down on the counter in front of him and said, "Hey, did you lose something?" I thought he was going to fall down. And sure enough, that was his quarter. You know, the one that he had spent 12 years earlier. And I figured, what are the odds that I would get it 12 miles down the road? It did make me wish that quarter could talk, so we could find out where all it had been, or if it had been right here in the same county for 12 years, or maybe been in somebody's jar or something like that. Well, like I said, that was a short one, but I thought it was a pretty interesting little thing that happened. He still has the quarter, by the way. It was gone for 12 years. Now it's been 27 years since I gave it back to him. But, there could be another story later on, though, because when I was still at my job building airplane seats, I took a 2003 quarter in 2003 and carved JR03 into it just to see if it would ever make its way back, and I spent it in a Coke machine, too. It's been 16 years so far and nothing, but I think I've proven that you never can tell. It'd be really something if lightning struck twice for me. Okay, well, that's the RT80 story. I hope you liked that, and I hope you enjoyed the ride. I'm going to go ahead and close it out with the same clip I was going to use with the original Riding with James video for this month. I took this right after I did the pickle juice challenge, and happened to spot some geese in the water. Special shout out to my friend Scott with Corkboard TV on this one. He'll know why at the end. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Well, I don't know when I'm going to use this, but I just did the pickle juice challenge. I was out here at the lake and saw these birds out here at Lake Nocona. You really don't see these out here that often. I just get a nice little shot of all these birds. Looks like Canadian geese. So you see them up in Oklahoma. They don't really, it's kind of like they stop at the border. You don't really see them around, or at least I haven't seen them around here very often. Oh, beep, beep, beep.